Hello everybody, it's MAGMA, and recently I uploaded a video about all the LEGO Star Wars sets in the year 1999, and as I promised that I would continue this trend and continue throughout the entire years, today's video is about all the LEGO Star Wars sets released in the year 2000. Now the year 2000 again is not one of the best years. In fact, it's improved from 1999, but still we're gonna have to wait until 2002 for some real good LEGO Star Wars sets. Until then, I'm going to go ahead and make my comments on these sets. So I do have, let me see, actually no, not really, I have one of these sets. But still, I'll give you guys my best feedback and my best opinions on these sets. So starting off with the Phantom Menace, the first Phantom Menace set released was 3343 Star Wars number 4. So these were little packs, and here you got two regular battle droids and one battle droid commander. Now these are very basic minifigures. You also got a plate with like a card behind, kind of similar to the new polybags we're getting, such as the Skiff Trooper and the Astromech from Rogue One. So it's the same idea, the same concept. The cards had a little bit of information on the droids. Now I'll show you guys later on there's some better Star Wars packs which were really worth it. This one, I believe they were $5. This one was ridiculously useless. I know at the time battle droids were not that common. Like you could get, like, you got them like clone troopers back in the day. So they appeared in a few sets, and if you had a pack to get more clone troopers, you would have done it. But they weren't anything very special. So all the other Star Wars packs I would want to get, this one I don't know if I would pay such a price for it. But you did get a battle droid commander, which was kind of exclusive. Next up is the 7115 Gungan Patrol. Now I actually have this set, or at least most of it. It's kind of lost everywhere. I know I have one of the Cadoos, and I have the thing that goes to the back. So pretty much the essential of the set, I know where it is. The rest, I have no clue. But still, I really like this set. Not really for the build, because the build is very basic and useless, but really just for the animal pieces and the Gungans. More Gungans, you know, it adds up to my Gungan army. I'm not planning on making a mock, nor collecting Gungans in general, but just having more Gungan figures if I need is good. But what I mainly love this set about is the Cadoos. They look great, the molds are great, and they've never been released in any other set. So they are still up to 2017 exclusive to the set, which is ridiculous, because they are kind of a big part of the Battle of Naboo, or the battle with the Gungans against the battle droids. So definitely, I would expect LEGO to remake them, but I don't know, somehow they're still exclusive. Next up we have is this Flash Speeder. So again, this is one of the better looking sets of this year because it's a very basic set. The one we got in 2015 looks much better, but in general it's a pretty basic looking ship. It kind of looks like a boat in a way, with a turret on top. You got one minifigure, not very exclusive. I mean, we don't even get stormtroopers yet. So we've gotten scout troopers, but not stormtroopers yet in LEGO. And we do get these like Naboo pilots and all, as if they were cool minifigures, but in reality they're just regular LEGO minifigures. They don't have any Star Wars thing in particular, except maybe some torso printing. So the Flash Speeder was a cheap set. I guess it was good, but we don't really get to see it that much in Star Wars Episode 1. Next up is the 7155 Trade Federation AAT. Now this is an amazing set. I know there's a bit of blue on the back. I've seen some reviews of it. There's some bits of blue on the back. However, those parts, all the parts in the front are all printed, so that's great. Minifigure selection is pretty poor. You just get 2 battle droids, so again, regular battle droids, nothing exciting. But the tank itself is good. Now it does lack a bit of mobility with all the cannons. You don't get much positioning on it, but in general the build looks good. It's not very strong, in fact it's not strong at all, but the build looks pretty good. Next up we have a ridiculous LEGO Star Wars set. This is the Star Wars bucket 7159. So this was actually a bucket, and the main reason why you would want to get this set is to have the LEGO Star Wars bucket, literally. Back then there were buckets of LEGO. I don't know if they still do that, but as a child I remember having quite a few of those, and you just had buckets in your room and they were filled with LEGO. So this one, it was the chance to get one that said Star Wars on it. That's why most people got this set. Other than that, really, there's like a micro build of the pod racer scene. So a micro finish line, and then 3 micro pod racers. They're not up to scale with the real size. They're actually very small, but it's just a way to get some bricks into your Star Wars bucket, so nothing very exciting there. And then we have the Trade Federation MTT 7184. Now this is a very exciting set because it has a bunch of battle droids, which again makes battle droids kind of worthless. But that's the only type of minifigure you got. Let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, maybe 8. So 7 or 8 battle droids, I'm unsure, but just a bunch of minifigures in general. And the MTT looks alright. It's not too ugly. I mean, it is a bit resemblant, and it's bigger than the one we got in 2014, so that's alright. The color scheme is kind of off. In fact, it's completely off. The front looks a bit weird, and it's very hollow inside. So you can open the top for the cockpit. The front of the interior can open up to reveal some battle droids, and then the back is extremely hollow. There's nothing in it, but it's just a bunch of space to put some more battle droids, I guess. And you can open it up like a control center, similar to the 2002 Republic gunship. So in general, this MTT is a good little throwback to Star Wars, but not one I would personally get, mainly because it would be a bit expensive to get it for what it is. It's a very limited set, you know, it's one of those old sets that don't really have any functions to them. Next up is the 8000 Technic Pig Droid. I actually wanted this back then. For some reason, I don't think I'll ever be getting it because all these Technic sets don't look any appealing to me. They don't look good. They're kind of just huge downgrades to the buildable minifigures we get nowadays. Now I do agree there's more Technic, more Lego in it, and less just printed and custom parts for the droids or the figures in general. So I think a mix of the ones we get nowadays and these would be good. That's what I would mostly be looking for. But in general, these pit droids, they really lack a lot of pieces. They lack looking like the characters. And then the same could be said for the 8001 Technic Battle Droid. It just doesn't look very resemblant to a battle droid. The only fun feature you can do is just move his arms up and down. So they may look good on the shelf, and that's very debatable, but it's not something I would personally get. And then we have the 9 from the LEGO Mindstorms 9754 Darkside Developer Kit. Now in this set you could build a droideka, I believe. I'm unsure if it was actually functionable. And then you got an AT-AT, the first LEGO AT-AT in fact, and it was motorized. So it's very bulky. It doesn't have like the look of an AT-AT. It just has 4 legs, a head, and a body. And it's a very, very downgraded and ugly version of the 2007 motorized AT-AT. However, a bit on the bright side, this has more videos on YouTube for you to check out than the Droid Developer Kit, which I actually looked out after my other video, and I realized that it was just a motorized rolling R2-D2. So Darkside Developer Kit, not very exciting. There's nothing really to it, and I'm glad LEGO kind of stopped there because it was just taking up space in the LEGO Star Wars line that really wasn't needed at all. So that's it. Next up to episode 4, the 7190 Millennium Falcon. This Millennium Falcon looks hideous, but it still looks like a Millennium Falcon nonetheless. It's one of the better sets of this entire wave because it looks a bit more resemblant. You got these like round big dish type of pieces which are printed and they're custom for that set, so that's great. You can completely open it up and play with it. However, there is a fair amount of blue pieces in there. I don't know why LEGO was putting these blue pieces inside, but it was definitely annoying. And the cockpit looks extremely bulky and like a square, so I don't know what the deal was with that. In general, the 7190 Millennium Falcon, it was just a set for people to get the entire cast of Star Wars, because in that set you could literally have the entire cast of Star Wars, and that's the only great thing about it. So personally, I don't think I'll ever be getting it because it looks horrible, and I think we can all agree on that. I know there's going to be a lot of controversy and debate on this, but just in general, not a set I would personally get. It doesn't look that appealing to me, so let's move on. For episode 4, we also have the 7191 Ultimate Collector's X-Wing Fighter. This is a UCS set. For some reason they weren't putting color on the boxes at the time. The UCS sets from that year were colorless, so that kind of downgrades the idea that you get from this set. The color matching was alright, it wasn't that bad. It's a UCS set, so I don't really want to go too much into depth about them. I'm not really going to talk about the UCS sets because that's for another video. But this model in general looked pretty good. It was one of the better LEGO sets at the time. It looked very resemblant to an X-Wing. From episode 5 that year, we got the 3340 Star Wars #1. So this is one of the minifigure packs we got. Again, I just really would want to get this set. For some reason it says episode 4, but you have Palpatine from episode 6, or excuse me, the Emperor from episode 6, Darth Maul from episode 1, and Darth Vader. So for some reason it's in episode 4, the one episode where none of these characters, or the least amount of these characters appear together. I would have named this as an episode 6. But whatever. So the set, again, you get Darth Vader, so that's a great way to get him. The Emperor, a great minifigure to get. He doesn't come with lightning, however, that wasn't a thing yet. But in general, just great to have the Emperor. And then Darth Maul. So all these figures, I mean, this was the first time you could get the Emperor, so that was really good. However, the rest of the minifigures, you could get them in some of the more expensive sets. Next up, we also got the 7144 Slave 1. Just a very classic LEGO Star Wars set. There's no nostalgia for this. It's the first set technically where you can get Boba Fett in it, and you also got Han Solo in Carbonite. It's that printed piece right there. And this set in general has a lot of nostalgia. Like, it's one of those sets that is in our hearts because it's one of the first LEGO Star Wars sets that kind of initiated all the great Slave 1 sets we have nowadays. But when we look back at it, it's tiny, it's ugly, it doesn't look anything like the Slave 1. It's one of those kind of retarded builds, similar to maybe I would say the Millennium Falcon, but I would get a lot of hate for that. So I'll just go ahead and say it's very ugly, similar to the Sith Infiltrator from 1999. So yeah, Slave 1, not a very good set. Definitely I would redirect you towards at least 2002 or 2006, because this set is very ugly. However, you did get the Boba Fett minifigure. And if you just want that, then that's not a problem. The next set is 3341 Star Wars #2. It's one of the minifigure packs again. We got Han Solo, so if you don't want to get the Millennium Falcon just for Han Solo, that's great. You get an exclusive Luke Skywalker, which looks amazing. It's an episode, I believe episode 6, Luke's. And he looks good. A great minifigure. And then we also get Boba Fett. I think I really want to get this pack to get the stands and just get Boba Fett in the old format. I already have him in the old format, but I feel like I want to have one of the other variants. And next up is 3342 Star Wars #3, again another minifigure pack. We get 2 Biker Scouts, so we've already gotten 2 of them in 1999, so nothing really special. However, we get Chewbacca in that set, so I see what they did here. They always included an exclusive minifigure in each of the Star Wars packs, so you would be incentivized to get one of them. And I think getting the entire collection of the Star Wars packs would be great, because you get all the villains, you get Boba Fett, Han Solo, Luke Skywalker, both of the Biker Scouts and Chewbacca, and then some of the battle droids. So really key minifigures for the LEGO Star Wars franchise, and I think that's great. Next up is the Desert Skiff. Very ugly set. It's ugly, tiny, doesn't have many bricks. It has Luke Skywalker and Han Solo, however, which are maybe exclusive to it. I'm unsure. So one of those really ugly, kind of useless sets, because there was no Jabba sail barge, and if you really want to get a Desert Skiff, just get one of the newer ones. They look much better. I know they're more expensive, but at least they come with the Sarlacc pit. Next up is the 7134 A-Wing Fighter. Again, I don't know why it was gray and red, because we didn't really get to see... Well, yeah, we kind of got to see one gray and red, but it was more dark red and white. So, the A-Wing, I really have nothing to say about this set, because it looks fine. It's one of those sets that maybe your little cousin built, and you look at it and you're like, yeah, it looks fine, and that's kind of it. But I would maybe get this just to complete my LEGO A-Wing collection. And I think the set in general, like, it's not that ugly. It's actually one of the better builds. Next up is the 7181 Ultimate Collector Series TIE Interceptor, and again, I don't know why there's these amazing UCS sets in the middle of all these ugly small sets. I don't know how LEGO... I know the brick choice and all that stuff was a bit smaller at the time. It was harder to get the best bricks to make the shapes and all, but I still have such a hard time understanding how they made such good looking and amazing UCS sets at the same time they made kind of ugly sets like the Desert Skiff or the Slave 1 and so on. So this Ultimate Collector Series TIE Fighter, it looks alright, there's no worries with it. It's it's just a big UCS set, so I'll save the UCS sets for another video, but it's nice to get it. And then there's the 7180 B-Wing at Rebel Control Center. Again, it looks like a B-Wing that hasn't eaten a very long time. It comes with a minor control center that was kind of a nice little addition. I think it was fun for little children to play with. And the B-Wing itself, it looks alright. It's one of the better builds. It's very bulky and very skinny at the same time. You have the very bulky engine and very skinny wings. But yeah, not much more to say about this set. I actually kind of want it with the A-Wing. Those are the two sets I maybe want from this line. So the good thing about the A-Wing and the B-Wing in general is that, and maybe the Desert Skiff if you want to look at it that way, and maybe even so the Slave One, that we got these sets early is that they were due for a remake later on when we had much better pieces, and we got just much better versions of these sets. And that's something that's kind of good when we get them early, is that we know that the sooner we get them, the sooner eventually we'll get the remakes, compared to some of the next sets in the next years, which then didn't have remakes for several years. So that's it for the 2000 LEGO Star Wars wave. Again, it's one of my least favorite waves. I can't wait to get into 2002 and so on, where I have good sets that I can talk about. For now, not much to say really, so I'm gonna go ahead and end off this video. Thanks for watching. Please leave some comments and feedbacks for some of your favorite sets from this wave. And just let me know in general, what do you guys think? Am I hating too much on these old classic sets? So yeah. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.